May again. I just wanted to give my thoughts and feelings on the Smallville upgrade episode. I thought it was pretty good. I'm just going to run through a couple of things. Not going to give that much detail into what actually, play-by-play analysis of like what happened. I'm not going to go from like beginning to end. I'm just going to talk about some key things that I liked. We see the return of Metallo, John Corbin. We see the return of um, the Red Kryptonite Clark, and we see Clark and Zod team up. We also see Freeze Breath in this episode, which we've never seen before. But it's revealed that Clark and Zod both know how to do this when they make it snow in Seattle, even though it's in the 60s, 60 something degrees. But Metallo is about to get a new heart, a red kryptonite heart. Um, but the lab explodes. Lois is in there. She's basically like infiltrated it, looking for information. John Corbin saves her, and he tells her that he needs uh, green kryptonite in order to survive. So he finds the stash of kryptonite that Chloe had, and he's basically, injecting himself with all this kryptonite. And it was a little strange to see because he was acting more like a junkie than anything else. But if he needs it to survive, then fine. We also see, the return of Red Kryptonite Clark, and this one was, I think, the best version they've had so far of Clark under the influence of Red Kryptonite. He was a lot meaner, a lot tougher, a lot. He wasn't as sarcastic. He didn't act like the typical adolescent, rebellious teenager that he usually acts like. Um, he had an attitude, but not so much. He basically he finds out that Chloe tells him that she's been amassing all this kryptonite to fight against the Kandorians in case something happens. He doesn't trust her or Oliver, so he basically he smacks her hand and she falls to the ground. And he's yelling in her face, and you can just feel the emotion and hear the emotion, feel it, and see it in his eyes of the anger that he has towards Chloe for doing this. Basically saying that he doesn't trust her and he doesn't know why he ever did. Um, we also see the team up of Clark and Zod at the end of the episode. Clark mentions that he sees Zod as the closest thing he's ever had to a brother, which is kind of a little. I thought it was a little. I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, it seems a little wrong to me because of what happened with Jarrell. Um, I mean, Jarrell told Clark. I mean, he's known this for a while. What kind of a person Zod becomes, whether or not he actually still believes that's going to happen, I don't know. But he still says that he thinks of him as a brother because he can relate to him in ways that he can't relate to others. He is a Kryptonian. He does have powers. He doesn't know what Zod does at the end of this episode, so he thinks he's the only one with powers. He also knows more about Krypton than he does. He's able to tell him stories that Clark doesn't know of. Be able to tell him the culture. Be speaking of the culture, Zod basically tells Clark that their religion on Krypton is not based on like mystical stuff, more abstract things. It's based on like concrete science, which was nice for him to talk about. I mean, it's always been known throughout the season that their religion is more scientific than mystical. So it was nice for him to mention it. And he basically tells him he needs that book that Jarrell hid away, and that he'd be able to, if he gets it combined with the knowledge in the fortress or knowledge of Jarrell, then he would be able to unlock the secrets of the universe. I don't know how that's going to work out in the season or in later or in the next season. I don't know, but he tells Clark this, and we got to see what happens. Um, Metallo is uh, it's brought to the attention of us that the upgrade, hence the name, was that was given to Metallo was a chip in the back of his neck. Um, that basically allows someone else to control him and to give him orders like, return to base, and he'll, when he sees someone that he has to attack, he says like, you see the lettering at the bottom and like robot vision, target acquired. We see that when I guess it's Tess orders him to come to her, and she's with Chloe. Chloe sends John Corbin to the fortress, where she knows that Clark and Zod are there, and in order to get him off red kryptonite, she has to have John Corbin stab him with a piece of green kryptonite. So Metallo is sent to the fortress. Clark and Zod battle him. They freeze him into an ice, like an icicle, basically, and like an ice block. And Corbin blasts his way out of there, which I was happy to see. I thought they were going to keep him stuck there. I know it's a stupid thing for me to think of, but it is Smallville. They are very good, the writers, but a lot of times they make stupid mistakes. Um, I'm not gonna say there's a spoiler for I think it's called Hostage or whatever. The episode after this one, I believe, when Martha and Perry come back. There's a big spoiler about that. I'm not going to mention it here at all. You have to find out, and when you know what it is, you'll understand what I'm saying when I say that. Sometimes they just come up with stupid ideas. But anyway, I'll get to that when that episode comes. So Metallo breaks free, kicks Zod onto like an ice crystal, like a platform, um, and then Metallo takes a piece of kryptonite, stabs Clark, tells him I was sent here to save you, and then Clark's not under the Clark becomes free of the influence of red kryptonite. So we see him return to the normal Clark that we all know of, and then Metallo and Lois have their moment. Basically, Metallo's alright. He's gonna go and do his own thing, but he says like he really shows that he cares about Lois. Really says like she's someone special, someone unique, and that if he was gonna go away, he'd like to go away with her. Lois says, she's got someone else in her life, and that maybe in another life they would have been together. But it was a nice moment. It wasn't as good as the speech that John Corbin gave at the end of the second episode of this season called Metallo, but it was a good moment nevertheless. And then to return with the religious aspect that they keep running with since season 8. At the end, Zod finds out from Tess that there are some Kandorans who are plotting against him. Zod figures he's gonna have to do something big, something different to get their attention, get their allegiance back. So he brings some of them to the fortress. Takes like an ice cup. Tells them that it's time for them to partake of their birthright, to receive their birthright. And he takes like an ice cup, slits his hand, pours it in the cup, and then lifts it up like, I don't know if you see like a Catholic mass, the priest does that, and I guess that's what they were trying to allude to, trying to make it a caricature of the Catholic mass. Like I assume what they're trying to say here is that his blood will be changed into like the life force, the life energy of the Kandorians, because it is going to be his blood that's going to go into them and make them powerful and strong. So I guess that's what they're trying to do, make that symbolic of that. So I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what other religious caricatures, what other religious analogies they're going to use. We'll have to wait and see. And there is a new episode next week, even though they didn't have a trailer for it at the end of this episode. There is one next week. All right, take care, guys. I'll see you.